Hello, everyone. Happy Friday.
Friday.
As you can see, we have the wonderful, beautiful, inspirational Robyn, carnivorous grandma. Absolutely love the handle name, by the way,
Thank
because it
you.
is so fun to say, especially. But
That's what I
we're going
thought
to
too.
wait for a few to still come in the chat because we know the way it goes on a Friday, especially trying to get home from work on a Friday. Sometimes there's a lot of hustle and bustle. So let's go ahead and see who we have in the chat here. We have Arborware. Hi, all. Hello, welcome, welcome. That looks like that's from on your end. Here we got Rick, of course, with the ducks
Hey,
quack
Rick.
quack. Hey,
Yes.
Rick. Happy Friday. Here we have Brenda showing some
Hey,
love. Yes, happy
Brenda.
Friday, Mama. Thank you, thank you. And here, as you can see, we do have a missing face, a missing body. My partner in crime, Cindy, unfortunately, she could not be here, but she is there in the chat to support. So, Cindy, thank you so much for supporting us through the chat. You are definitely missed on here. Here we have Just Jason Keto and more. Hey, Jason, good evening. Hope your weekend's going well. Here we have 22 Kukat, which is Lynn.
Hey,
That's always showing support.
Lynn.
Hello, Lynn. Happy Friday. We have Susie Underwood in the house. Hello,
Susie.
Susie. It was so nice to have her on because she does not have a channel, and I think that was the most exciting for me was for her to share her journey because she has such an amazing journey.
Mm,
Here we
awesome.
have Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. And then this, I don't know if you're familiar, but this is Deb Riley. It's Cindy's sister.
Hey, Deb. I didn't know that was Cindy's sister.
Yes, that's Cindy's sister. That's
Awesome.
actually who got her on a keto.
Nice. Good for you, Deb. Thank you.
Hope your week went well, Deb. Here we have Jeff. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hope your week went well. Happy Friday, all. Excited for today's interview. Yes, I am super
Me too.
excited because Robyn has an amazing journey to tell, and she definitely has provided so much inspiration and motivation to so many in the community. So I had to have her on. So I'm so happy that you accepted through the chat because that's exactly how I grabbed you was through the chat asking you if you would come on.
Yes, I'm so honored and thankful to be here. I really appreciate the invitation and just so glad to be here with you.
Yes,
I
I'm
got to get
super
you over on my
excited.
channel next.
Yes, I would love that.
Yes.
Here we have Simpson, Johns, Hi Robyn, and Miss Perfectly Imperfect. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Oh, Rick is, I am fixing the wiring of my van.
Oh my gosh, you're
You
always
are
working, Rick.
multitasking. Yes, you are definitely multitasking.
Mhm.
Definitely be careful. My side of South Florida was raining, so hopefully you are doing that dry over on your end.
I didn't realize that you were in Florida.
Yes. Are
Nice.
you?
No, I'm in
Oh,
Michigan.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, but I'm coming to
Definitely a
Florida this summer,
distance.
so man, hopefully maybe I can meet up with some carnivores while I'm there.
Yes, you'll have to touch base with me of where you're gonna be.
We're gonna be in
Do you?
Orlando, so I heard you say so.
Oh, it's not too bad. Not
Yeah.
too bad. About like an hour and a half
Oh, that's
for
not
us.
bad. Yeah, we need
So
to do
I will,
something.
yeah, I will definitely take the drive and meet with you.
That would be awesome.
Robyn, I thank her all the time for sure. Oh, John, welcome, welcome, John. Oh, and then Susie saying, we appreciate you so much,
Oh, thank
Robyn.
you.
Oaktown girl just got off of work, but
Girl.
who is the host? So, for anyone that doesn't know me, I am Sana. I don't want to take from Robyn's spotlight tonight because, of course, I am featuring her. But you can most definitely check out my channel. It is basically my exact name. Let me see if it is going to show on here because it looks like the display name is not showing. So let me see if I can kind of work some stuff out to get it to show. Because, of course, when it comes to StreamYard, it doesn't want to always cooperate. Oh, nope, it still doesn't want to cooperate. It's checked off for showing the display names, but I will go ahead and I'll definitely add in the chat. I'll go ahead and I'll add my channel link. That way you guys can kind of familiarize yourselves with who I am because I don't want to boast about myself because as I said,
She's
this is
amazing, you guys.
Robyn's
You'll hear
time.
her
Oh,
story on my
thank
channel
you.
sometime. Hey, John.
Hello and welcome, Robyn. Yes, everybody definitely check out Robyn's channel. I'm going to multitask here and get her link posted. So definitely bear with me if you kind of see me multitasking over here because I am a one-woman show tonight.
That's all right.
So let me go ahead. I'm going to get you posted here for everybody.
Okay.
And then we're going to wait for some to come in the chat because I definitely want everybody to have the opportunity to hear Robyn's story because, as I said, she is just amazing. Her story is so inspirational. And
Oh,
you definitely share your story, your journey to inspire in a non intimidating way. And I
thanks.
think that's what I love the most about your channel and a lot of channels like yours because it can be very difficult to inspire someone
Mhm.
to go on the proper human diet.
Yes.
And not only to go on the proper human diet, but to go carnivore. I think carnivore, out of all the proper human diet options, carnivore can seem to be the one that is the most kind of intimidating.
It
I
is
wouldn't
scary.
say scary. Some
It's
might
scary
think
for
it's
some people,
scary.
yeah, because because of what we've
Exactly.
been taught, right? So
Exactly.
all
Yes.
of our culture is telling us that we need to have carbohydrates. Is what we were just talking about. You need to have
Right.
carbohydrates for this or that. Where we are finding out that that's not actually true. But for me, it did feel scary. Like it felt crazy. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy. Who does that? You know, eat only meat, so it's just, it can be intimidating. It can be a little scary. And you think that you're going to have a heart attack. You think that you're going to get sick. You're going to make yourself sick. You're going to cause, uh, your cholesterol is going to go up, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
have a heart attack, and just on and on and on. The meat's going to ferment in your gut, and then you're going to be rotting from the inside. All kinds of crazy things that we've been taught about meat, that just are not actually true.
And that's the unfortunate thing. All the myths that are put out there, definitely misinformation. Um, and still, yeah, I think because I see it a lot, and I'm sure you see it as well, like in a lot of the Facebook groups for carnivore.
Hmm.
It's sad because just like you're saying, it's very much the mentality that we have had. And it's so difficult because even someone that's starting carnivore, they're feeling amazing.
Hmm.
But I think all of that information, because, they start feeling great, but guess what? They end up having that first doctor visit,
Yeah.
that first physical, like you're saying, they get blood drawn, they're seeing cholesterol, they're seeing all these numbers, and to the doctor, because not all of them are educated on this way of eating.
Right.
They're giving the information that the numbers that they're seeing is not good. Oh, you need to come off of that diet immediately is what they tell them.
Yeah.
And it's sad because these people stop. Based off on what that
True.
doctor tells them, they stop because they get scared
They get scared. That's right. Yep.
because they're thinking of all the misinformation we were always told before. And
Yes.
they're thinking, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? Like I'm gonna kill myself. Like I shouldn't be doing this based off on it feeling great for everybody else. But guess what? They forget that they were feeling great too.
Right.
And
Yes.
it's unfortunate because it's such a slippery slope because when you're not a medical professional, and even for some medical professionals, they also have to be careful what medical advice
Mm.
they're giving
Right. Yep.
because that can go against all like their licensing bylaws and stuff like that. But it's like you almost want to just shout to this person like, don't give up, like don't listen to
Right.
them.
Yep.
But it's so difficult. It's so very difficult. Did you because we're going to get into your journey, but did
Yeah.
you have any feelings like that of hesitation when you
No,
started?
I didn't. I did not hesitate once I decided to do it. So I worked my way through all of those feelings of concern and scary feelings about what might happen by watching Dr. Barry go from keto to carnivore. Now I had been on
Yes.
keto. We'll talk about my story, but I had been on keto, so I knew how that worked. But Dr. Barry, I watched him go from keto to carnivore. So when I decided, I had worked through all of those, it's crazy, I'm going to make myself sick and whatever else thoughts I might have had about it before starting.
Mm-hmm.
But I did only think that I would only do 90 days. I would try it for 90 days as an elimination diet, and then I would start incorporating stuff back in. So that's not the way it turned out.
It is so interesting that you mentioned Dr. Barry's transition because I think that is definitely what put it in my own head going from like keto, because 4 years keto and then taking the chance on carnivore when I wasn't feeling, good at all. Like I literally felt like my body was giving up on me.
Mm,
And I really feel like he was the true inspiration for me
yep. So,
because he did
yes.
not badmouth keto. He said, you know what, whoever needs to remain keto, be keto. That's proper human diet. And I love that he put everything under the umbrella of proper human diet. And I think he was really the one that took away that dogmatic feeling of carnivore
Yep.
and just came at it with like such a just a normal approach
Mhm.
because he very much suggested do carnivore your way if you have to.
Yep.
Whatever alterations you need to
Dogs and
make,
bologna if you need to.
exactly. Bologna if you need to. The cheapest, because I know John wants me to say it in the chat, and it's actually coming now, with the topic, but hot dogs.
Hot
Even with the
dogs.
hot dogs,
Are you from New Jersey?
New Jersey,
Yes.
born and raised, yup, still
Yeah.
hasn't left me. Over 22 years in Florida, still has not left me yet. But even the cheapest of that as well.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
that is like what really just resonated with me. So I'm happy you mentioned his transition because that's very much like what inspired me as well.
Right.
Here we have Cindy saying again, sorry I'm not there. Take care of yourself, Cindy. We will have many Fridays to come, God willing. Definitely take care of yourself because you are what is important and what matters to me. Not missing one Friday night. Take care of yourself, please.
And you're here. You're not feeling well. You're still in the chat. I see you chatting it up down there.
And here I was trying to mother her, do not do too much screen time. So, John, you got it. It conveniently worked out. So here she's just explaining, I am not here tonight. I'm a bit under the weather. Miss you all for sure. Yes, absolutely. Definitely take care of yourself. We have Jamie. Thank you for all y'all are doing and sharing. Thank you. Thank you for coming and supporting because anyone that supports us, it definitely gives us the motivation to definitely keep going because then you guys are sharing with us that you are getting inspired. So that is huge for us. So definitely always give us that kind of feedback. We definitely appreciate it. Here, John, Sana, congratulations on your third
Congratulations.
boy. How are you feeling? Yes, because I just gender revealed just
Oh,
recently that we
awesome.
are having our third boy. Um, I am feeling great. So I did not take doctor's advice. Like I was talking to Robyn backstage, that my last doctor's appointment, the doctor wanted me to have processed carbs. I would not do it because I have not had any morning sickness. My two
Wow.
previous
Amazing.
pregnancies, Robyn, I was standard American diet. I was sick the
Wow.
entire pregnancy, both of those pregnancies. This pregnancy, I'm at like 16 weeks right now, like 16 weeks and a couple days, never had morning sickness.
Amazing.
So I told everybody I'm not a doctor. I can't, testify like, oh, definitely go carnivore if you want to avoid morning sickness. But it speaks volumes. It definitely speaks volumes. So
Absolutely.
worth a try. So thank you so much for asking. So let's see here. Here we have Charlie, hot dogs, John, hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
We have one hope for all.
Hola.
Oh, I love that handle name. Hola, Robyn. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's take a look here to see who else we have. Susie, happy Friday all.
Hi,
Brenda, yes, congratulations. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate you. Hello, I knew it's another boy. It's funny enough because my husband, he said the same thing because he actually was the one that had looked at the genetic testing results to see the gender. And he said that he kind of just knew already. It's the way he felt. All right, so it looks like we're kind of caught up in the chat here. Here we do have Cindy's question. I'm going to a little bit hold off on that because I want you to be able to share your journey, which might definitely answer her question. But take the stage, Robyn, and share as much of your journey that you feel comfortable to share and give us the nitty gritty.
okay. Will do. Well, you guys, as you know, my name is Robyn Heron, and I am your carnivorous grandma here. So thankful to be here tonight with Sana and also missing Cindy, but I want you to feel better. So I guess I'll start at the beginning. I'm 57 years old. This year I'll be 58. And I'm a mom of four adult children and a grandmother of 11. And when I was about 11 years old, I started dieting. I started doing my dieting journey. I remember my mom having the book, Dr. Atkins' Diet Revolution, and thinking, I need to go on that. I think the thing of it was when I was a kid, I was the one who was chubby. Now, when I look back at
Mm,
my little girl pictures, I was not chubby at all. But I had a little sister. My little sister was 2 years younger than me. She obviously was smaller than me always, right? So I had a little tummy, and people would poke my tummy and say she's chubby. And so that started me off with a mindset of being overweight from a very
mm,
young age, even though I probably wasn't that overweight. I remember being like 113 pounds and still thinking that I was overweight and needed to lose weight. And whenever I looked in the mirror, I would see myself overweight because I got a big booty. I got
I can
thighs.
relate.
You know what I mean? I got, I just have that kind of that shape,
Mhm.
that's how my body is
Voluptuous and curvaceous is what
made,
I
right?
call it.
Curvaceous, yeah. So I started dieting at 11. I remember going and eating for a while. I ate like ground beef, raw ground beef,
Mm,
and I thought this is what I should be eating. My mom was like, "You can't eat that. That's gonna make you sick. You're gonna
mhm.
get some kind of a disease from eating it raw." It seemed right to me at the time. I was about 12 or 13 years old.
Oh, wow. So young. Wow.
Yeah, for a while I ate like carrots, only
Yeah.
carrots until my fingers turned orange.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I thought, okay, well, I should just eat only carrots because I'm overweight and I need to lose weight. So this kind of started a cycle in my life of just always feeling like I was overweight and constantly being on a diet.
Mm.
Um, so, as I got older, I had kids. I can look at the pictures of my history and see my weight going up and down over the years. I would force my weight down through various diets because I never wanted to be over. I had a high limit, high water mark. That mark was 200 pounds. If I got to 200 pounds, I would force my weight back down by going on a diet.
Oh, wow.
So I've done all the diets. Well, I can't say all of them, but a lot of diets. I did the Atkins when the new diet revolution. So my mom had the
Mhm.
Atkins diet revolution. She also had a weight problem. And so I watched her with her weight problem,
Mhm.
struggling to, you know, eat right and try to lose weight. And then in the early 2000s, the new diet revolution came out. So,
Yeah.
I was old enough to try it. Now, I tried Atkins. Atkins was absolutely amazing. The induction phase, which was 20 carbs or less.
Mhm.
And I thought, this is a gift from God. Like,
Right.
this right here is the way. This is the way that I should be eating. And I knew that it was right. But if you remember how it was back then,
Mhm.
everybody was saying you're going to have a heart attack from eating
Yes.
all that fat. You can't just eat 20 carbs or less. It was just, and then Dr.
Mhm.
Atkins died, and they're like, oh, he
Yep.
had a heart attack.
Exactly. That's exactly what crossed my mind when you said that.
Yep, yep,
Yep.
yep. He had a heart attack. But I did like Atkins, and I liked the induction phase. When I tried to climb the carb ladder, I found myself unable to maintain myself on
Mhm.
that diet. So I tried the medical weight loss, which is a completely salt-free diet, and you buy the food from them and you eat it. It's so
Oh, I remember
expensive.
that one. Yes,
And
yes.
you go in and you get the B12 shots and get
Right.
weighed, and they're still calling me today. I'm like, please don't call me because I'm
Oh
not
my
coming
god.
back.
Wow.
I did Weight Watchers. I did a variety, but I would force that weight down. So if I think about, people probably look at me and think, well, she doesn't have a weight problem.
Right.
But that's because I would force the weight down with these different diets. I would just go on a diet, go crazy on the diet, and then lose all my weight, and then turn around and I need to lose the weight again. So I've gained and lost weight hundreds of times.
Mm.
So finally, I did find keto, and I was on keto for 5 years straight. And I did all the keto things. I made the keto
Mhm.
treats. I did keto very well, and I maintained my weight for a long time. But when I ate any carbs, I would just lose my mind,
Mm.
completely lose my mind. So one summer, probably I guess about 3 years ago now, I decided that I was going to have some sweet corn because it's summer. It's
Uh-huh.
summer, even though corn is really
Seasonal,
keto. You know what I mean?
right?
It's more than 20 carbs. It's very starchy. And so, I found that I was more Cheeto than keto for a while, 2 years, and I could not
Yeah.
get back on it after I ate that corn. I blame the corn, but it's really the carbohydrate addiction. Like I was so
Mhm.
addicted to carbs that when I would eat stuff like that, like sweet corn in the summertime, eating fruit and stuff like that, I would just lose it. So I found that I could not get back on keto. I kept, trying to get back on it and struggling to get back on it and was not able to stay on it. During that time, Dr. Barry, I was watching him. He was keto for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went carnivore. And I was like, now that's interesting because I had heard about carnivore. I think it was Kelly Hogan that I had heard about that was a carnivore. And, there was a group of people that were carnivores, but that was crazy. So,
Yeah.
not gonna be able to do that. Matter of fact, when I first mentioned it to my husband, he was like, "No, you can't do that. That's crazy." So but I watched Dr. Berry and he went from keto to carnivore and was doing amazing. He started
Mhm.
talking all about it. He started doing all these videos about all the different things that the carnivore diet could help and that the proper human diet could help. And I was like, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
So I just decided I'm going to try it. And February 22nd, 2023, I I just jumped off the cliff and tried it. And after about 2 weeks, I felt so amazing. So there's this
Mm.
carnivore zen, like
Yeah.
this overall generalized feeling of well-being that you get when you do the carnivore diet. I started to feel that at about 2 weeks. The only problem
Mm.
was that for 30 days, my first 30 days, I had diarrhea. So,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
um, so I knew I would do 90 days. So I just stayed the course, even though I was dealing with that. Tried tweaking the fat up and down, like they say do. That didn't really work. But I think I had IBS with
Mhm.
constipation. And so it was like the opposite, as my gut microbiome was switching over, it was just eliminating all of whatever was
Mhm.
going on
Yeah.
in my gut. But that feeling, that the brain fog lifting that you didn't
Right.
even realize was there, that
Mhm.
feeling of well-being was like amazing, so so amazing. And I knew after the first couple of weeks, I knew that I was not going to be able to go back to eating vegetables again. I tried a couple of things. So I did try a couple of things. I tried broccoli, I tried
Uh-huh.
cauliflower, onion, and cabbage. Those are really the four kind of vegetables that I have tried over the course of this little bit over a
Mhm.
year. I had a reaction to cauliflower. I had a reaction to broccoli. Now that was surprising because I used to eat cauliflower almost every single day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
and
yeah. It's a huge
I
staple in keto.
did not realize that I had kind of a little bit of not an aversion, but like it gave me a reaction.
Mm.
Um, so I find that I don't really miss vegetables. I'm not really a vegetable person to begin with, although
Right.
there are vegetables that I did enjoy.
Mhm.
But like I hated salads. I never liked lettuce, and I was like, why do I have to eat this? Well, because
Yeah.
it's good for you. You have to eat it, right? So I would
Right.
pile it with dressings and meat, cheese, put all the things on it to make it palatable because I
Mhm.
just never really liked it. So, I mean, that's my journey towards, getting there. Um, Getting to the carnivore way of eating, I find that I had to go strict because I have a
Right.
severe carbohydrate addiction.
Mhm.
And I've known that since I tried Atkins. When I tried to climb the carb ladder and found out that I was just on a slippery slope to back to my original weight, plus some. So you can't do keto and
Right.
Cheeto and think you're not going to gain weight. You're definitely going to gain your
Exactly.
weight back plus
Oh,
some.
yes. And that's the biggest disadvantage is because here, that's a lot of times what happens. It's like you
Yep.
kind of think to yourself once you get to that little bit of poundage that you gain, and you're thinking to yourself, why was I not just happy and content with what I was doing?
Right. Yep.
You
And I think it's
wish you
addiction,
could.
you know, there's addictions
Hmm.
there, that
Absolutely.
you,
Oh, absolutely.
if you try to, I mean, a lot of people are moderators and they're able to
Right.
moderate their eating. They can eat a little bit
Yeah.
of something and then go right back to their way of
Yes.
eating that they're supposed to be on. I am not that
Hmm.
person. I'm a person
No.
who will go all the way, lose my whole
Hmm.
mind,
Yeah. Yes.
run around, and then I got a whole bunch of weight to lose again, and I just got tired of it. I
Right.
remember one day my stepdad said to me, and I know that he never really probably thought anything of it, but
Right.
he was like, "You are a professional dieter, perpetual
Oh.
dieter, perpetual dieter."
Okay.
And because I can do a diet. I
Right.
am
Right.
good at doing a diet. Like, I can do a diet and lose my weight
Hmm.
and, force my weight down, but I will never forget that. And it's like for this past year, I have not been on a diet. And that is
Same.
amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Exactly. Yup. It's really changing the terminology because once you actually know that the terminology should be lifestyle, way of eating, your mentality
Yeah,
completely grows and changes.
right.
And, it's huge. Like, it's so huge what you're saying because so much so it is really the mental factor of this all. And I can attribute because I shared with you backstage, and some, would have seen it on my content. But with me being pregnant, I was told to add carbs back in, but I was told to add the processed stuff.
My God.
I didn't listen to that. But then again, I had to go ketovore and add veggies in. When I tell you, Robyn,
Mm,
being over a year carnivore, then having to introduce vegetables, I would never say eating anything is miserable. I would not, stoop down to that about food in general, but
mhm,
it does not taste as I've remembered it tasting. It's almost like it is flavorless
mhm,
and it's very uncomfortable, I would say, because it is almost like you're feeling the texture. But here it's like you feel like you're eating something and you're wondering to yourself, well, why am I eating it? Because I can't taste anything. There's no flavor.
wow.
So I mean, I could definitely attest to that. Um, and here I'm kind of just like really compromising
Yeah.
on having that be the veg that they're expecting of me. Um, but still, yeah, it's rough. It is rough. It is rough giving your body something that you're not happy. Like you feel like you're losing a very big part of yourself because just like you're saying, you healed so much in that first 2 weeks. And that's very much what happened with me. In the first 3 weeks, I was shocked because a lot of my aches and pains were gone.
Yeah.
Did they probably heal in those 3 weeks? Probably not. Probably it was, a lot of reduction of inflammation that
Emotion.
helped.
Yes. Right.
But still, when you are somebody that is in excruciating pain, and to have that in just a couple weeks be gone,
Mhm.
it
Right.
helped you push forward to 90 days.
Yeah.
That's what helped me come into 90 days because I was set on 60 days initially. But after that 3 weeks, you only want more of that
Mhm.
amazing feeling.
Right.
So I'm so happy you mentioned that because I think that's like a shocker for some that it happens so quickly
Yes.
because it really can. Yeah, you might not be fully healed in those couple weeks, but your body is showing you that it's accepting of it and it's on its way to healing
Yes.
and
Right.
hopefully full healing at that.
And I think I've heard some of the OGs, I'll call them, the OG
Right.
carnivores that have been doing this for many, many years,
Mhm.
saying that the healing process can take years, literally,
Oh,
to
absolutely.
complete, for before your body is
Mhm.
because we spent all this time, think
Right.
about this. I started it at the age of 56. For
Yes.
56 years, I've been putting in all kinds of garbage, seed oils, and all of the toxic foods that we've been eating, all of the vegetables. I think I would probably tell them, no, I'm not going to eat
Yeah.
the vegetables because the baby doesn't need vegetables.
Mhm.
And the vegetables are, they're, unless maybe they're organic. So hopefully they're organic
Yes.
because, we don't want that glyphosate in the baby's
No.
brain, and
No.
it's just crazy that they're telling you that. So, you know,
Thankfully, we have a local farmers market.
oh, that's good.
So it's straight from the source. And I only do choose from their organic selection. But I'm going to be doing a content video about it because I actually had my 16-week appointment today. And
Oh,
thankfully, this OB office, they do a rotation of doctors that you see. That way you kind of have a better chance of like familiarizing yourself with somebody that might end up be there on your delivery day.
right.
And then
Yep.
you can kind of be like, oh, hey, yeah, I recognize your face. But when I tell you I cried at today's appointment because when I tell you I really think because I truly prayed after that horrible last appointment, I really had to pray on it because I was scared. I was
Mm,
so scared to incorporate vegetables back
yeah.
because I did experience IBS on my keto journey. And I
Mm,
really think it was because of vegetables because I did go ketovore
yep.
for
Yep.
a year's worth and still had the IBS, still had the aches and pains. So, like you, I truly felt like vegetables. I don't know possibly which one, or if there was more than one, but I truly felt like they were the culprit.
Right. Well, I
Thankfully,
can say that Dr. Kiltz
yes,
says that I interviewed him, and
yes.
he told me that vegetables or fiber is
Hmm.
like steel wool, Brillo pads going through your colon.
Yeah.
So, they say it cleans your colon out. Yeah, because you have to go the bathroom a lot when you eat a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
fiber, but it's because it's scraping your colon like a Brillo pad. So,
Hmm. And that's very much like how I feel because, initially, I don't know if you experienced this because I know you went through the IBS, but once that cleared up, did you experience, because I did have like the first 3 days, I did have the IBS.
mhm.
And it was more severe than the IBS I had from the veg. But I did go through that period of time that, you do take of like the no poop phase.
Mm,
So I don't know if you experienced that as well.
I
Um,
do.
because it did take a while, but I'm telling you, once that starts to regulate and you start to understand because your body does not have any waste.
Right.
So your body's going through that recognition like, oh, you don't have anything for me to dump. Like, okay.
Right.
So it's scary initially. And Dr. Berry says, don't anybody be afraid of the poop talk.
Right.
But it is scary initially because you're thinking something's wrong because we are, our brains are wired to make us think you have to have a regular movement
Right. Every day.
multiple times
Multiple
in the
times a day.
week, a day.
Yep. Yep.
But I felt,
Yeah.
when I tell you, I felt like amazing. I felt amazing. Like literally, when I felt like waste came out and then like smooth sailing after that, like
Right.
you said, you had a Zen feeling. And I love that you said that because it is very much Zen. It is like a euphoric feeling.
It is. It really is. And the craziest thing is that I don't think I have ever felt
Mhm.
that way before in my life.
Yeah.
Like, maybe when I was on the swings as a kid,
Right.
that when you're get up there and then you're coming down.
Yes. Yes.
That might be the closest thing that I can compare it
Yes.
to that feeling of zen, like, you're so
Mhm.
calm and
Yeah.
just and I'm high strung generally,
Right.
and obsessive about things and just a lot of anxiety and that kind of a
Mhm.
thing. So to feel that sensation of
Yeah.
not being stressed, just being
Right.
totally calm and
Mhm.
not obsessing about food. So the
Right.
food obsession was crazy. Like,
Right.
I constantly thought about food from the time I woke up till the time I went to bed. I was
Yeah.
always thinking about what I was going to eat. What am I going to eat tomorrow? Do I need to go to the store? Blah, 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 blah. And just on and on and
Yeah.
on, obsessing about food. And that went away. And I was like, oh, so that is not normal. Now, I thought I've been doing that all my life,
Right.
thinking
Right.
about food and worrying about food and talking to people about food,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I'm not, and it's like, oh, so that's actually not normal.
It's huge because just like you're saying, because I had clinical depression and anxiety.
Mhm.
It was
Yep.
very, very severe. And I'm never ashamed to tell anybody, but I did have something tragic happen, which was the loss of my father. And it
Um,
set me over the edge
yeah.
that's what put me in the phase of clinical depression and anxiety because I did get to the point where I was suicidal. When
Mm,
I tell you, I did go through professional help, um, but still yet, I still felt like I still had like a weight on me mentally. And it was just so strange because just like you're saying, like I felt like mentally like a weight was lifted.
mhm.
And it's like you can't really explain it. Like you're feeling it, just
Yep.
like you're saying, but it's like you really can't really explain, but it's just gone.
Right.
It's
Yep.
just gone. And then you're just shocked that like, wow, like this really allowed me to be, like you're saying, like at a calm, at like a peace. So
Yes.
I'm so glad that you're mentioning that because so many, like especially like everything that like we've gone through in, these past years as a
Mm,
world,
yes.
a lot of people, like their mental health state is not the very best right now.
Right.
And it's huge that just with real food that you can help
Right.
something like a mental health because I refuse the medication. I was suggested to take medication, but hearing of all the side effects, you're like, yeah, no. I have
Right.
enough problems that we're trying to fix. We don't need to be adding any new ones.
Right.
But I'm so glad you mentioned that because the mental health of it is so huge. And I truly feel like that is what's going to help somebody be successful, to focus on the simplicity, to focus on the simpleness of the foods.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that's all you're really focusing on is the meats, find out what your favorite meats are. That is it.
Mhm.
There are
Yep.
so many sales out there on meat if you're savvy with, looking up like the weekly ads and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's so doable.
It
But I
is.
think to get your mentality in check and get your mentality in a healthy place, it is going to make this way of eating for anyone like only that much easier.
Right. I agree. And the mental health piece of it, we are seeing I've interviewed so many people, a number
Mm,
of people who have talked about the benefits from a mental health aspect, um, and talking about, alleviation of depression and anxiety. So I still have a little bit of anxiety.
mm,
But when I think back to how I was on February 21st last year,
right. Yeah.
it's nothing compared to what it is today. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That anxiety is way, 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 way down. from
Yeah.
to bipolar disorder,
Oh, yeah.
schizophrenia, all these different, even
Mhm.
like I'm hearing like autism and
Oh,
things
yeah.
like that are being helped with
Mhm.
a proper human diet. Carnivore in particular, you know,
Yeah.
is helpful for all of these mental health issues. And I was listening to Dr. Georgia Ede. I can't remember who was interviewing her. Talking, I think it might have been Carrie from Homestead How that was
Mhm.
interviewing her, and she was talking about all the different mental health issues that can be helped. And the lower
Right.
you can get your carbohydrates,
Mhm.
the more helpful it is.
Yeah.
So that is just so incredible to me because a lot of these things are incurable according to
Mhm.
what we know or what we have been taught. You know, a lot of these illnesses that are being cured with carnivore diets, like type 2
Yeah.
diabetes, that's not supposed to be curable. You know,
Right.
it's supposed to be chronic and like
Yes.
irreversible, right?
Yeah.
But we're
Like you're
seeing
stuck with it for life. Yep.
reverse, you know,
Yeah.
all of these issues with a carnivore diet. So,
Mhm.
um, you know, I hate to see people not trying it.
Right.
I would say, you know, we need to give it, everybody should try it for 30 days. Every single
Exactly.
person should try it for 30 days. You're not gonna,
Exactly.
if it's gonna hurt you, it's not gonna hurt you that bad in
Right.
30 days.
Exactly. And do not focus on the scale. Do not focus on the scale
Right.
because that scale is not the tell all be all, especially when it comes to that initial healing. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
so happy that you mentioned that we have been on whatever way of eating that wasn't the very best for our health, wasn't the very best for our bodies for decades.
Right.
You are not going to completely 100% heal all of that in 30 days.
Right.
But I
Exactly.
bet you are going to experience at least one, if not more, non-scale victory in
Right.
that 30 days.
Yeah. Well, you talked about the mentality, and I think the
Mhm.
mentality of a lot of us, especially those who of us who have yo-yo dieted and done all the diets and stuff, is that, you know, we want a crash diet. We want to
Oh
lose some
yeah.
weight fast, right?
Right.
But going into this, I did not even weigh myself
Mm.
on February 22nd last year when I started the diet. I said, this is not about weight loss.
Right.
It's about all the other benefits that I'm gonna get. Now,
Mhm.
I did lose, like, I had happened to go to the doctor
Right.
last year right around this time. So I had a weight from the doctor. I went to the doctor the other day and they had my weight from last year. So I lost like 20 pounds in a year. Um, but mostly I'm thankful for all the other benefits I've had, like that constipation
Mhm.
was terrible. I mean, I had that constipation on and off for years, all my adult life that I can
Mhm.
remember. And and so having a normal bowel movement, I was like,
Yeah.
"What?
Yes.
What is
It feels
happening here?
amazing.
This is crazy." Yeah,
Yeah.
so, you know, just, you know, getting rid of that. My sleep apnea has gone way, way down, so
Mhm.
I have a CPAP machine, but I've, you know, gone, like, down to, like, 1 or 2 episodes per hour down
Right,
from
right.
where I was at before, so it's way down. It's even below the threshold. They're like, if you're having 5 or less, you probably don't even need the CPAP machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm still using it because I feel like it helps me sleep. Has that
Right,
white,
right,
I
right.
don't know, it has white noise and that it helps me sleep. And also eczema. So like I had eczema on my face. I'm gonna do a video about it because I was looking at some
Okay.
pictures of myself.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had raccoon eyes. I had a ring around my mouth.
Oh, wow.
Where my eczema was just
Yeah.
so bad.
Mhm.
And I don't have eczema really, except for I have hand eczema, which is I'm still continuing to battle with that, but I think it might
Right, right,
take
right.
some time for that to heal. And then the anxiety, like the anxiety is the reduction in my anxiety is
Mm.
incredible. I had some gains with my
Yeah.
vision, like my vision, my prescription not changing after changing every single year for like
Wow.
30 years. My prescription stabilized last year. So I'll go back this year and see, like, did it actually stabilize? Because I was like,
Right,
this
right,
is
right.
crazy. Like, I wasn't expecting that. And then my seasonal allergies went away.
Mm.
Like I didn't have, and I've had allergies all my life and eczema. Like all my life, I've had allergies,
Wow.
um, and had to take an allergy pill every day or twice a day for my whole life. And now, I'm taking one every blue moon, which is incredible. Like I had no idea that it would impact seasonal allergies. It's great.
Amazing. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. Those are the things like, and that's why I tell people, like, definitely journal in the beginning because you are listing off so many non-scale victories and so many reasons like why you got started, like all these different things you wanted to be able to try and heal. I definitely suggest anyone journal because sometimes we forget.
Hmm.
Sometimes we get really complacent and we forget what literally we suffered from, like what all our little bit of ailments were.
Right.
Because when you no longer feel it, sometimes you just forget because you're
Yes.
so focused on feeling amazing that you
Mhm.
forget to truly acknowledge, like, oh, this isn't happening anymore. Like, I'm
Right.
not having these allergies anymore.
Mhm.
Definitely journal and have that moment of like that mental awakening for
Mm.
yourself to look at that list and be like, oh my gosh, like I can cross this off because I no longer experience it. I don't
Yes.
have this any longer. Wow, this is gone. Definitely journal because that is going to be more huge for you than, like
Mhm.
you said, than getting on the scale in the beginning.
Right. Yep.
Journal everything you are suffering from and reevaluate that in 30 days, in 60 days, in 90 days,
Yeah. Right.
because
Yep.
you will surprise yourself because like you're saying, it's hard to believe with the change in the food. It's hard to believe that all of those different non-scale things can simply get cured.
Right. The allergy one was the shocker. Like,
Mm,
I could not believe that happened. I was not expecting that at all because allergies is something I've dealt with my whole life. So,
exactly.
and I live out here in kind of a country, the
Right.
trees, grasses, and I'm
Oh
allergic to
yeah.
everything all year round. So
Yep.
I had to take allergy pills every single day, and now I don't. So that's
And
crazy.
that's the thing because my husband, he has postnasal drip. So here in South Florida, when we experienced the pollen months,
Mhm.
he suffered. He
Mm.
suffered because not only because of the allergies, but when you're someone that has postnasal drip, you're
Sore
having to
throat.
make every effort to try to dry it up because
Mm.
otherwise, yeah, you get like a viral infection from it. You get sore throat, you get all kind of like flu-like symptoms. But here we have one hope for all saying, not a very happy Friday for me. I had my belly set for some ribeye burger patties. Then I remembered it's
Oh,
Friday, no meat today, eggs, salmon, but I like both, so that's okay.
so that's okay.
Definitely, yes, definitely. I would be really happy with that eggs and salmon. I love salmon. I don't know if you have an air fryer, but salmon in the air fryer is life-changing. If you have not tried it, definitely give it a try. And you're shaking your head, Robin, so I'm guessing you've tried it.
I have. I do enjoy salmon. I haven't had it for a while. I think I ate so much salmon. I
Yeah.
I did a month of the sea lion diet,
Okay, yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
like ruminant animal meat
Right.
and seafood. And I think I burned myself out on salmon. My husband is like, I'm like, do you want salmon? No, no, I don't want any salmon.
Yes, it's really funny because I try to think back, like if there's anything that I over kind of indulged in, like protein-wise, that I'm thinking to myself, like, is there anything I do not want in rotation again? Because it's definitely easy because it tastes so amazing and then you
Mhm.
feel good from it. So it is definitely sometimes feeling like you're having too much of a good thing.
Yes,
So you
right.
feel like
Yep,
you do have to have some other things in rotation.
absolutely.
Cindy's saying, unfortunately, people are still saying that about the heart attacks eating this way. Yeah, and that's why it's so important for us to continue these discussions
Yes.
because, think of the way everything's set up behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Um, there is a lot of money at stake for the truth really being revealed. So a lot
Right.
of these hands in the honeypot
Yep.
will do everything they can to keep that agenda, that misinformation going. So we kind of have to remember we are a force that they are definitely going to be reckoning with,
Yes.
because we're just going to keep the conversation going. That is
Right.
really truly. I mean, it is unfortunate, but it's never going to end. For generations to come, it's
Mm,
still going to happen because we are talking about multi-billion to trillion-dollar
right.
money
Industry.
on the line.
That's right.
So it's difficult. It's definitely difficult. So Dustin saying, I can't moderate, can't totally
Dustin.
abstain either. It's a delicate dance for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that word moderation or moderate can be dangerous for some
It's a lie
because
from the pit of hell. That's what I say.
it could be very dangerous. It
Everything
can
in
be very
moderation is a
dangerous.
lie from the
Exactly.
pit, in my
Because
opinion.
exactly, because when you think of it throughout any given day, because some days could be very long,
Mhm.
especially going through this daylight savings time. Yeah, our days can really seem very stretched out during daylight savings time. So if you basically every time you look at something you're about to consume and you're like, well, it has a good amount of carbs per serving, but I'll stick with that one serving. We'll moderate with that one serving. Then that next thing comes along. And it is like a never ending vicious cycle because
Yes.
then you're kind of using, and I'm saying that moderation is dangerous because you're kind of using it as an excuse. Like, just like you're saying, it is very much a very ugly lie. And I'm not saying everybody, I'm not going to try to put this label on everybody, but some really need to analyze when they're doing moderation and
Mhm.
seeing if it is probably what is holding them back from reaching some goals,
Right. Yep.
because it very well can definitely be a very slippery slope when we figure, oh, I'm going to moderate here and there. That moderation is going to add up and it's no longer going to be moderation by the end of the day.
Right. And that's, I mean, that's what I have found, is that I have, like, an addictive type of a personality. So,
Right.
I cannot moderate things. I have to abstain. So, and my philosophy is that if you have an addiction, like, let's say you're an alcoholic, you're gonna
Yeah.
not gonna tell an alcoholic to moderate on a little alcohol. Well, you can have just a little bit. You can moderate because an
Yeah.
alcoholic can't moderate, you
Right,
know.
right, right.
So carbohydrate addict cannot moderate on
You
carbohydrates. So
can't.
so I believe in abstaining from things that you are addicted to.
And that's a huge thing because that was very much my feelings, and I'm going to share this on a future video, but thankfully I had a doctor today at my 16-week appointment that she was like, "Oh my gosh." She's like, "The doctor at your last appointment told you to have pasta and rice and toast." She's like, "No." She's like, "Keep doing what you're doing." She's like, "You know what?" She's like, "If any of them," she's like, "on any of your future appointments," she's like, "if they give you a hard time," she said, "you tell them they need to call me."
Good for
So
her.
when I
Like
tell you,
her.
I cried because I thanked her and I told her that you are going to allow me to have like a sense of relief that I don't have to feel like I'm coming into this office and walking on not even eggshells, like walking on glass
Yes.
and feeling
Right.
like I have to be careful with what I'm saying because I'm going to be bashed for it.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I'm proud. I'm proud of my way of eating. I'm proud of
Right.
how far I've come.
Mhm.
And that's why we create the content we create.
Yeah.
That's why we do these interviews. That's why we interview others because
Mhm.
we want everybody to know a story or a journey that's going to resonate with them. That's going to
Right.
inspire them because like you're saying with your own journey, there's so many things you were suffering from and to have that relief now.
Yeah. Right.
For you, it's like there's no looking back
Mhm.
because I was very much the same. I've tried so many different, let's just call them fad diets, so many fad diets, but I would never look back at ever going on any of them ever again
Nope.
because now that you have the common sense knowledge of truly what it is to be on a proper human diet, you only look back to thinking to yourself like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I knew about this so much sooner than I did."
Right.
That is the only look back moment you have
Exactly.
to just appreciate like how far you've come. But like
Mhm.
Rick's saying, all veggies are nasty.
Yes. Yes, yes.
They
I do,
they
I like
are
cabbage. I think I
flavorless to me.
like cabbage,
Yeah.
but what I like about cabbage is the sausage that's in the cabbage.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, because it definitely, because when I've had cabbage as well, like same thing. Like whether it was like beef or lamb,
Mhm.
that flavor of just, the beef or the lamb cooking with the cabbage
Mhm. Yep.
elevated all those
Yes.
flavors
Yes.
that's literally like now that you're mentioning that, that is actually what made the cabbage so
Make it taste
desirable
good.
was the
Yep.
meat making it flavored so good.
Yes, indeed.
But like
I agree
Unspoken
with this
Darkness is
statement.
saying, yes, I think Nisha and Dr. Berry may say veggies are not necessary when pregnant. Yes, because I've been following the berries for over 6 years now,
Mhm.
thanks to Dr. Berry. I have shared on other channels, so if you want to go ahead and check out those interviews that I did, you could definitely find them on my channel. But I had shared our son that is now 15. We went keto as a household because he needed to cure his seizures, which
Mm,
he was able to do, and that is all thanks to Dr. Berry. So I have been
amazing.
watching them for over 6 years now because I did get a whole kind of almost like a year's worth of education before we started, because of course it was for my child. So I made sure to get as much information as I can before starting for my child.
Yes.
But yes, I watched Nisha go through all her infertility, which was very relatable to me because I did suffer from infertility. So I was able to see from the very beginning when she went through the infertility and then when she got blessed with initially first baby Beckett and
Yeah.
then Bonnie Blue. So
Yeah.
I've been truly blessed to watch their family grow from the very beginning.
Mhm.
But yes, very much so. The veggies are not necessary. And I know she was very minimal as well because she loves onions.
Yeah.
And she'll never apologize for loving onions, which I don't blame her because it's a very let her do her.
Right.
She has cured completely and
Hashimoto's
entirely.
amazing.
Exactly. And that's not easy to do. For anyone that suffers from it, they know it's not easy to cure the Hashimoto's. But I think between the onion, I think like avocado every once in a while is what she did, but very minimal. Very, very minimal. Like she had her maybe like top five, choices that she went through, which were her faves, and she did what works for her. So no, I absolutely agree. So that's why I was so happy. I was so, so happy because definitely that doctor told me that incorporate the veg here and there, but it does not have to be an everyday thing, is what she told me. So I was so happy with that. So here Susie is saying Brillo pads are pine cones. That's what some veggies felt like to my gut. And
Mhm.
that's the thing. And that was very much like why I felt like the root of my problems
Right.
was the veg because
I
that
agree.
very much is the feeling like your tummy is literally like you're saying Brillo pads or pine cones because it's so irritable and just
Yes.
so painful. So here Jeff is asking, who was your biggest influence on going keto to carnivore? So I know you mentioned Dr. Berry.
Yes, Dr.
Was there
Berry.
anybody else? Because you mentioned Dr. Berry as well as Kelly Hogan.
Yeah, so going keto to carnivore, it was 100% Dr. Berry. 100% Dr. Berry. I watched him go from keto to carnivore. Now
Mhm.
had I was intrigued by the idea of being a carnivore because you know how people say I'm a carnivore, I like meat, I'm a carnivore, but you're
Right.
not really a carnivore if you're not eating only meat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, I watched him do it and it was so profound to me like, okay, this man is thriving. He's doing great. He's not
Huge
just like
transformation.
he's not looking sick or, he's not looking unhealthy, bad. He's feeling great. And his content started just coming out. Bam, bam, bam. I mean, he
Yeah.
was like off the chain when he went from keto to carnivore. His content started just shooting through the
Yeah.
roof. And
Mhm.
so he was the person, the biggest influence, the person that
Right.
convinced me that it was okay to try it.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's the number one. That I mean, that's the top
Right.
dog.
Right. And
Now,
definitely everybody, like you're saying, definitely anybody that just recently got acquainted with Dr. Berry, go back and look at his video
hmm
from a couple years ago when he was on
right,
keto.
yes,
It is literally like dad bod to going like
yeah,
Hulk.
yes,
It's
right,
literally like a very sculpted Hulk is what he looks like.
right.
And it's huge, the
Huge
transformation
difference.
he
Yeah,
went through. So anybody like Robyn is saying, Dr. Berry, his going from keto to carnivore is mind blowing. Definitely go back so you can see basically to get an idea of what we're speaking of his before and after with this transition because it is huge. Here we have Kel in the chat. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us this Friday. Susie has your next question. What is your favorite way to cook carnivore food?
oh, my favorite. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me think about this. I guess if I'm going by the amount of times I use a process, I will say my cast iron is my favorite.
Okay.
So
Do you
in
have
the
a favorite thing to
summertime,
cook in it?
ribeye.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
ribeye is the best. And hamburger patties are really
Yeah.
good in the cast iron also. Anything that you cook in the cast iron is just delicious, but I like to do my steaks, my ribeye steaks in the cast iron, sear 'em, I'll season them and sear 'em on both sides and then put it in the oven. Let it broil until it comes up to temp. I like mine medium rare.
Hmm.
So, so good.
Yes, me
And
too.
that's my favorite in the wintertime
Okay.
and in the colder season. But in the summertime, I like to grill almost every single day.
Hmm.
I like to put my steaks on the grill and just same thing, just sear them and ooh, they're so good. Yes.
Yeah,
So even
yeah.
we had a little break in the winter weather for a couple of weeks, I guess I would say, and I was grilling, even though it was like 35 degrees, 40 degrees outside. I
Oh
was
my
out there.
gosh.
So in the summertime, I love to grill. I have a gas grill, but I really
Hmm.
enjoy charcoal grill as
Yeah.
well. But I guess my favorite, I have to say the top has got to be the cast iron. And then the next one is going to be my air fryer. because
Yep.
like right now I didn't take a steak out for dinner, but I decided that I wanted a ribeye. So that frozen ribeye, you
Mhm.
can just put it in the air fryer and cook
Mhm.
it, and it's gonna come out perfect.
You
So,
sure can, yup.
mhm,
That is, like, my favorite, and that's something that I joke with Carnivore Kip because he would always joke with me about my air fryer, and I always joke with him that I like to see you pry the air fryer from my grip because I am not
right,
giving up my air fryer.
right. I love my
'Cause
air
I
fryer.
just,
It's so convenient.
just the way like a fatty ribeye, like you're talking about, oh my gosh, the
Yeah,
s the fat of that ribeye and air frying it, and that fat gets that crispiness to it.
crispy. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, so
It's good
good.
stuff.
So,
It's
so
good.
good.
Yeah, don't overcook your steak. I like medium rare, and so
Yes.
I have a temperature probe that I put in there. If the,
Right,
like
right.
tonight, my steak is frozen, so I'll let it cook halfway, and then I'll put the temperature probe in so that I'm monitoring because I don't
Mhm.
want it to get. I used to eat medium all the time
Yeah, yeah.
before I went carnivore. Medium was
That
my
was me.
jam,
Yep,
but now
yep.
I'm like it's getting more and
You
more
crave
rare as we go
yeah,
along.
yeah, and it's the strangest thing because it's like you almost crave it in a way. And it might look strange, to some, and I had to teach my kids that, like, especially, like, in the meat packaging,
Mhm.
and I was thankful because growing up, my uncle that was alive at the time, he was a butcher.
Oh,
So, I used to
nice.
say to him, I'm like, "Uncle, like, why are you leaving the blood in the package? Like, you're gonna gross out the customers." And he explained to me from a young age what the myoglobin was.
Mhm.
And I was like, "What?" I was like, "That's not blood." And he's like,
Right.
"No." He's like, "We drain that from the animal." He's like, "That's not blood." And I think a lot of people,
People think
because
that.
they don't have that knowledge. They
Right.
don't because here it
Yep.
took for my butcher uncle to tell me.
Yeah.
I don't think otherwise I probably would have ever learned about it.
Right.
Because very much so, we're seeing meats. The meat came from animal body. We're thinking, "Oh, it's blood."
Right.
But
Yeah.
no, no. So even like when you're cutting that steak and it's medium rare, don't even worry because that's not blood and that's coming
Right.
out of it. That's just
Right.
the goodness
I think people
of that
think that, but it's
myoglobin.
definitely not. Yep.
Exactly. So
And that's
don't be turned off because I know a lot of times, even like we go to Texas Rose House, and even like some people, they would be like, they would look, and I'm like, it is delicious and it's
it is
not blood. But they're
delicious.
looking at you like, oh my gosh, like this woman, like she's like, they think of like
He's an
cannibalism.
animal.
Yeah, they think of cannibalism like, "Oh my
Yes.
god, like she likes blood."
Oh my gosh.
But
People
that's
do
the
eat
thing.
people do eat blood and they do drink blood,
They
but that's
do.
not what's coming
Yeah,
out of your steak.
exactly. So Cindy's asking, and you kind of answered it with that, what is your typical day of eating, Robin? Do you eat chicken, pork, and seafood as well as beef?
Yeah. So my typical day of eating is usually so I eat twice a day generally. And usually I will be eating like around 11 or 12 o'clock.
Okay.
And we usually break fast with like bacon, eggs. Sometimes I will do like a burger patty or something like that. Today I did a
Mhm.
power plate. I have to call it a power plate instead of a power bowl
Right.
because I put it on a plate, but it was like bacon. It was BBB&E. So it was a burger patty and then bacon and some eggs. So I'm kind of cutting back on my egg whites
Okay.
and adding more yolks. So I just did
Mhm.
one single whole egg and then added two additional egg yolks to that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, and
I've
then
seen that very common lately. Just the
mhm,
yolk focus. Yep.
yep. So, and then I usually have some kind of beef for dinner,
Mhm.
generally like a ribeye. Sometimes I'll do chuck roast. Yesterday, though, I did the heart attack style chicken. So, heart
Yeah.
attack style Rick Charger Mopar.
Yeah.
He coined this phrase about the heart attack chicken, and I deep fried my chicken wings in some bacon fat. and it was so good.
Yep,
So,
and
I'm
you're
doing
mentioning
all the
nothing
heart
better
attack
than the heart attack diet.
I'm doing all the heart attack meats because it's so good. I've done pork chops, I've done chicken, I've done, like, I did some chicken breasts, which were really good. So, the chicken breast, I pounded them flat, and then
Mhm.
I, coated them in some pork rind panko
Oh, okay, yeah,
and
yeah.
fried them. So if you remember, like, old chicken sandwiches,
Right, right,
that's
right.
what it was
Uh-huh.
like. It was like having that
Yeah.
chicken patty out of the chicken sandwich. It was so good, and fried in either beef tallow or bacon grease. So, yeah, so I eat a lot of beef, but I
Mhm.
do incorporate other types of foods. I like to have shrimp a lot of times. If I'm having a steak, I'll have some shrimp on the side.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, the surf and turf, so good.
yeah. So I do eat a little bit of cheese. Well, I've been eating quite a bit of cheese lately because I've been eating a lot of cheeseburgers. But I don't eat cheese all the time every day, but I do eat some
Mhm.
cheese. But yeah, I eat all the meats, and I do eat organ meats as well. So I get a craving for liver sometimes. Like, I know that my body needs something that
Yeah,
liver has, because I will have,
right.
like, okay, I need to cook some liver today. So and it'll be like a craving for liver. So yeah, just mostly beef, but a variety of other things too.
That's definitely amazing variety, and, like, just like you explained, with that simple chicken recipe, it can still be so satisfying to eat this
So good.
way, but so
Yes.
simple because
Mhm.
that hardly takes any time at all, like, to pound out that chicken, to, coat it in the egg wash, to just, use the grounded up, pork rinds.
Yes.
So simple. Like,
Yeah,
literally no time at all. Like, literally, you can
exactly.
have that from start to finish probably done in, like, 30 minutes,
Right.
if
Yep.
even that.
So, like, if you have kids or something and they like chicken tenders and stuff, you can do
Yeah.
your chicken tenders just like that, and it's
Mhm.
so, so good.
Yep.
Just don't, like, if you're frying them, don't be
Yeah.
moving them around a lot because you don't want your pork rinds
Right.
to fall off.
To fall off.
Yeah,
Exactly. They
so I
have
let
to
them cook
have that time of
almost.
crispness. Yeah.
Yep, yep,
No,
so
absolutely.
I love
No, that's
good.
that's really good advice. But here, Uncle Big Guy, which is
Oh,
Arden, he definitely has a really good balance because he does carnivore at home, ketovore when he eats out.
oh, okay.
And
Mhm.
that's a really good balance because doing it that way, think of how off track and off plan you could go when you eat out. So if you're sticking a ketovore when
Yeah,
you eat out, that is a huge victory right
right.
there.
Yep.
So I applaud you for that because that is still proper human diet. No,
Yes, it is.
absolutely. Susie sharing not suffering from allergies is an amazing non-scale victory.
Yeah.
It definitely is because
Mhm.
I'm sure you started to kind of feel very skeptical as like seasons came around where there's a lot of all
Yeah,
those
I was
allergens
like,
in the air.
"Wait a minute, hold on," because everybody around me was sniffing and having their, eyes itching and all this stuff, and I'm looking around like, "Wait a
Yeah.
minute, I'm the one who has the allergies. I'm the person who's always that person." So, it was so crazy,
Oh,
so
it's
crazy.
definitely shocking. It was shocking for my husband as well that they were finally gone.
Yeah.
Susie's saying it is amazing that food can have such a powerful effect on the body. It
Yes.
it definitely is. I mean, and this real food has been around way beyond our lifetimes. If
Right.
you really think
Yeah.
about it, the just like the full context of it all, animals, like what we're eating, have been roaming longer than a lot of us right now in the chat on this panel have been alive. So when you think of that, we're just going back to just simplicity again. Is truly what
Yes.
it is. And to think of that something so simple like that, that just that concept and having it be so powerful
Yeah.
on healing our bodies, it's huge, huge. Here we have Charlie, Darth Carnivore, Robin.
Yeah.
What have been some surprising takeaways you've learned from being a newer YouTube channel in the keto/carnivore community? That's a very good question.
So, surprising takeaways. I guess the most surprising takeaway is how much time it takes to actually edit and post videos. It takes
Amen.
it's like a second job, really. And I think when I was watching YouTubers, and I watch a lot of YouTubers, one of my favorites used to be Keto Connect. I don't know if you guys ever watched them,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
but they were out there for years and years doing it. And I had no idea how much energy and effort and time goes into making those videos. And, especially when you have any kind of production value or anything like that, it's like really it takes a lot of effort.
Mhm.
So that was the main surprising thing. I guess the other thing is definitely the community itself.
Right.
Um, Carnivores are awesome. I love
Yeah.
carnivores, but there can
So
also
much
be,
support.
yeah, there can also, it's funny, a lot of people will say some pretty rude and mean things to you
Right, right.
behind the screen.
Yep.
Um, we don't really get the context necessarily of what they're saying, but
Right.
because they're behind the screen, they're just typing in something and it looks like they're being rude
Yeah.
or dogmatic, So people can be
Like,
very dogmatic about
mhm.
other people's lives. So when you're putting yourself
Exactly.
out here like this, you're kind of putting yourself up for this kind of criticism of
Right.
what you're doing. So surprisingly, that was surprising to me that people would be so, they care a lot about what's going on with you, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool in a way, also kind of challenging in a way.
Yeah.
Hi, my babies are here.
Oh.
Come over and say hi. Come on. This
Oh
is
my goodness, cutie pie.
this
Oh
is my
my
youngest
gosh.
granddaughter, Autumn. This
Oh
is
my
Layla
goodness.
here behind me, and this
Hello.
is Melody. They're here
Oh
visiting
my
tonight.
goodness, what beauties. Oh my gosh.
Hi, Audie.
Hello.
Okay, you guys can go back up. All right. Yeah.
Oh
So,
my gosh, cuteness overload. Oh my gosh.
thank you. Yeah, so people can be it's really very cool to have people be so engaged with your life that they
Mhm.
care, I mean, I guess I'm surprised that people want to watch me walk outside, walk my dog, talk about different topics and they want to see me
Yeah,
cooking food and eating food and stuff like that. So that I'm glad about it because,
right.
if otherwise I might as well not do a YouTube channel. But and there are people
Exactly.
that I have watched like that too. I've
Right.
watched them over the years, like I was saying with Dr. Barry, I've been watching him for years and very interested and intrigued by what's going on with him and his
Yeah.
family. And even Anita, ketogenic
Oh,
woman,
yes. Uh-huh.
watching her and seeing how amazing she's doing, watching
Yes.
her channel grow, it's super exciting.
Right.
So, I think it's very, very cool that people are interested to
Yeah.
see about your life. And I'm just regular, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not anything special. I'm just a carnivorous grandma. You know what I mean? So sorry.
Exactly.
So it's really, really cool that people are interested and are out there watching the channel.
Yeah. Actually, on one of my, with you saying that you're just carnivorous grandma, I literally had said on one of my videos, and I said it kind of just so like nonchalantly. Um, but it took a comment, and I still remember because it was actually Lynn, 22Q Cat, that's in the chat. I had literally said that my channel was a small channel, that I was okay with it, and I was okay with kind of just being a nobody.
Hmm.
And she said to me that no, you are
Yeah,
not a nobody.
right.
And she said that I wished when I started keto and went to carnivore that there was a channel like yours around. And then it's kind of like you think to yourself, you're like, wow, like, yeah, like I really have to kind of be careful with how I self identify myself
Yeah.
because sometimes it's, you kind of get very comfortable because everybody's so supportive, everybody's so
Yes.
welcoming. And then you
Yeah.
kind of get in your like little groove of, just making the content because you're being yourself.
Right.
You're just being yourself, you're being genuine, and that can be very easy to do because you're not following a script. You're not
Yes.
putting on this facade. You're just recording. You are just hitting record and halving at it with the
Yes.
recording. So, it can be very easy to make the content in that way.
And one of the things too is that when I got ready to start my channel, so when I went carnivore, I knew that
Yeah.
I was going to do some videos, probably some cooking videos and stuff like that. I started
Mhm.
recording video of myself cooking. My video was terrible. I didn't post
Been
anything.
there, done that. Yes.
But I knew that I wanted to start a channel, and I started looking around, and as you were just saying, like, there was nobody out there like you. There was nobody out there like me. I
Right.
couldn't find one person, in the
Exactly
space
right.
talking about it that
Yeah.
looked like me.
Right.
I mean, even though a person's channel wouldn't be exactly the same as mine, I looked around to see, and I couldn't find anybody. And then
Mhm.
Carrie from Homestead How was like, "You, Robyn, need to start your YouTube channel." He didn't say that, but he said it to everybody. But I heard him
Yeah.
say it to me, like,
Mhm.
"Start your YouTube channel, tell your
Yeah.
story. These stories mean everything to
Right.
the world right now.
Mhm.
That's upside down
Yeah.
and backwards with our thinking around food and
Right.
eating." And so I was encouraged to start, because I was like, yeah, I don't see another me out there. So let me go ahead and
Yeah.
start.
That's so true, and that is something very much like Dr. Barry promotes as well.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter, and that's why, like, I really, when I started my YouTube channel, it was January of last year, and I very much had to go in it with the mentality that I did not have any monetary expectation with my YouTube. When it came to the subscribers, I
Hmm.
got only happy when my subscriber count went up because it was comforting. That kind of made me feel like it was confirmation. Oh wow, like
Yeah.
somebody is feeling motivated, somebody's feeling inspired, they want to know more, they want to follow, so they're able to find out more.
Hmm.
And that is the parts that become exciting of it.
Yes, it
Because I
is.
will always have, my off the camera full-time job because that is truly what pays the bills. And
Right.
that's what I earned my master's degree for, is to have that full-time job. But still, yeah, you are mentioning such amazing and great takeaways, um, because they are surprising. It is surprising that a lot of the people that show up in the chat, a lot of the people that show up in your comment section, frequently supporting,
Yes.
you've never met in person before. But then again, you truly built this relationship. And
Yes.
that's
So
why
cool.
everybody I call my friend. And it was a little awkward for some in the beginning that I call everybody my friend,
Yes.
but who else? Like, who else is going to understand firsthand what we've been through?
Right.
And each step of this journey, what we are going through and what we will be going through for
Hmm.
months and years to come, but
Right.
each other. And that's
Yeah.
very much a friendship because a friend is somebody who you truly can relate with,
Hmm.
somebody that you're not afraid to share these kind of things with. And we do, we share a lot with each other to the
We do.
point that we're talking about our bowel movements with one another.
Yes.
And that's
I
very
don't
much
even talk
something
about that with my family
you
members, you
see.
know? Yeah.
And that's something you could only do with somebody truly, truly that you see as a friend. So I'm so
Mhm.
happy you mentioned that. And Charlie, if you are thinking, if this question is because you are thinking of starting a channel, do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely do it. Because just like
I'll be
Robyn
there.
said, still yet, there are some out there, they have not found somebody that has been that relatable,
Mhm.
inspiration and motivation. So
Right.
you never know, Charlie, like who you are going to inspire and somebody that's going to take the chance to start, even if it's for 30 days, to see how it goes. So definitely, 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 we would love to see you have a channel and let us know when you decide to take the leap so we can share you out. And here
Yes.
we had Ellie in the chat, Nourishment Redacted. I was blessed to have her interview me. I'm here to give some love to Sana and Robyn. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. Just catching up on some that popped in. So she's gone right now, but Meaning Wellness, Christy, hi,
Yes.
ladies. She does have a channel as well as Ellie that I just featured, and she actually stepped out because she is going to have an interview. So you can definitely check her
Nice.
channel out as well because that interview possibly might still be going on as we are kind of wrapping this up. Susie,
Mhm.
thank goodness, Sana. That's a huge yes, what a relief. It
Yes.
definitely is.
Yes.
Because and that's the thing, we have to remember the doctors, some of the doctors are not going to know it all like the ones within this community, like your Dr. Barry, like your Dr. Kiltz, like your Dr. Chafee, like your Dr. Sean Baker.
Mhm.
We can expect and have that expectation when we go to these doctors that we see. Some are fortunate. Some are fortunate and blessed that their doctors are understanding and well educated on the proper human diet. And a lot of times, those doctors, they don't have any patient turnover and they are very, very hard to see and to get in with.
Yes. Right.
Um, but it's just one of those things you have to really be vigilant. You have to be the one to be your number one advocate.
Right.
And it's sad because, yes, unfortunately, like I don't want to suggest because, it would not be wise of me for anyone to be suggested to not listen to their doctor.
Right.
I would just say if you feel uncomfortable with what that doctor's telling you and you truly feel like you have the knowledge of knowing better by listening to the experts in the community, the actual healthcare professionals in the community, see another doctor.
Yeah.
See another doctor. There are definitely plenty of doctors out there where one is probably going to be skeptical, but they're going to kind of see how things go and take a chance on you keeping on the way of eating. And guess what? Those are the doctors. You end up inspiring them. You
Yes.
end up changing their mentality
Right.
is what ends up happening because that doctor is basically in a peak of curiosity when you're telling them what you're doing, what way of eating you're doing, and they're
Mhm.
like, "Okay, well, we'll see how it goes."
Yeah.
They might want to see you back in like 90 days. They might want to see you back in 6 months, but when they see the change in you, you're definitely going to change that doctor's mentality and they are most definitely going to change their approach with other patients. They might not openly tell you, but best believe they will. You definitely will change their mentality for sure.
I agree with that. I just had my appointment, my annual physical with my doctor.
Mm,
And I had seen her probably 6 months ago, and had all my labs done and everything. So this
okay.
time when I went to see her, I told her, I ended up talking to her about my diet. So when I
Okay.
went there and I had my labs done 6 months ago, I said I changed my diet drastically, and I
Yeah.
just want to make sure that I'm not going to die. At that point,
Right.
she didn't ask me what diet I was doing. She never asked me anything about it. So this time she did. And so I was able to tell her that I was on a carnivore diet, and she was like, "What?" She'd never heard of it. So that goes
Ah,
to show, like, how many doctors have just never even heard of a carnivore diet. And I explained to her what it
that's
was, that I'm
good.
not eating any vegetables, and she was like, when I came in the room, I was like, "I almost didn't recognize you because you look so good." You know,
Yeah.
you lost a lot of weight, you know, you look different. you look so different. And, I was, like, telling her, "Yeah, I started a YouTube channel." I wrote my channel down for her, but I wanna I was glad to be able to talk to her about it and then tell her that I'm
Right.
interviewing doctors in the community, that I'm
Yeah.
interviewing a lot of people, and the amazing health benefits. Because I went to my doctor, a year before and told the doctor, "Give me some medicine because my anxiety is so bad, I'm not
Wow.
gonna be able to function, I won't be able to drive." I
Yeah.
took that medicine, and then by the time I went to see her again, I was on the medicine and off the medicine again. Because after I got on carnivore, I realized I didn't need the medicine anymore
You
because I didn't
see,
have
wow,
any
that's
anxiety like
huge. To get to a point like that where you're suffering so much and it's like to the point where you're just at like your wit's end.
that. Yeah,
To the point where like here we're like asking like write the prescription today, like
right.
please.
Even with all the side effects and
Wow.
everything, I was like, "I have to have something because 'cause I'm not gonna be able to function."
Oh my
So,
gosh,
yeah.
wow. Here we have Susan E. Welcome, welcome. She is saying, I like cabbage cooked and raw. I did used to cook it with onion and apples. I also make a slaw with cilantro, sour cream, lime, cumin, and salt. Serve it with salmon, season it with taco seasoning. Oh, that
Sounds
sounds
good.
like really refreshing too. Like something like light and refreshing. Yeah, that definitely sounds really good. And here she's adding that she's making the salmon taco and slaw tonight, weaning my son off of processed carbs.
Good for you, Susan
Applaud
E.
you. I applaud you. And I can definitely attest because, like I said, both of our kids, 15 and 7, they have been on the keto way of eating for over 5 years now.
Wow.
And they don't miss any of the processed stuff. Was it
Yeah.
easy in the beginning? Yeah, no, it was not. But when they start kind of feeling better, fortunately, our second born, he went from breastfeeding to keto. But our oldest, because of the seizures, he knew it was life-changing for him.
Yeah,
It
right.
really was. So depending on age, they'll start to see, depending on age, because at only certain ages they're very in tune with their body.
Mhm.
Um, but they'll
To grow
know how
man.
they're feeling. Yeah, they'll definitely know how they're feeling. So I definitely applaud you. Rick is saying, I wish I could convince more people to try it.
Me too.
That's the
Me too,
thing.
Rick.
And we just got to
Yeah,
keep speaking, for whoever's willing to listen,
yes.
just keep speaking about it. And I know we mentioned, there's some that we don't know in the chat sometimes how their tone is coming across.
Mhm.
Some definitely with what context they're saying, you can definitely tell that
Yes.
there's kind of only one way, one tone that they're
Yes.
saying it. And you definitely know for sure it is being rude and just like a bully, a keyboard bully.
Yep.
Um, but that's the thing, you do, like you're saying, when you make the decision to put your journey out there, truly open yourself up, you do really have to gain thick skin for sure.
Yes.
And don't take things personal. Do
Mhm.
not take things personal because, think of it this way, like even prior to us starting this way of eating, there were so many different things. There were so many different aspects that were against us. And look how much we've grown from that. With
Right.
all these obstacles that we had, we survived all of them. We surpassed all of them. So do not allow any other obstacles to get in your way. You already healed from that.
Right. Yep.
Keep pushing forward. Do not let anyone bring you down because guess what? Those are just opinions. Only you know your body. You are living in your body day to day. Only you know your body. So if you are
Mhm.
feeling amazing, do not allow the opinion of anybody, especially if it's a demeaning opinion, do not let it get you down. But as we're
Right.
saying, there could be some that the tone is actually that they're not trying to come from like a mean and harsh place. It's just they're not educated.
Right.
They don't
Yep.
have the knowledge. They might have seen that, here, you're going to be going live with Dr. Chafee on Sunday. That could bring a real big audience with it being Dr. Chafee. And some might see, oh, look at this channel. Oh, they're live. They have how many people watching? Oh, she's talking to a doctor. Let me see what this is all about. And it
Right.
just piques their interest
Mhm.
just by seeing the amount of people watching, how many viewers are watching. Then they get curious on like whatever topic you have for the live. And
Yes.
they might click into it. And then guess what? They're starting to listen and they're like, oh wow, these people are crazy. They're just eating meat. Like, are they nuts? But they just don't know. So they might just put something in the chat, just coming off very blunt.
Mhm.
And some questions that come across very blunt can seem to be rude, but it's just because they don't know. They're not educated. So we have to kind of not really take things personal. We have to kind of come at it with the approach that their intention might be good. We have to kind of take it with a grain of salt and kind of figure and see if that's just what it is. Like if we just need to educate this person. And here Rick's adding some of us carnivores are skinny though.
Yeah.
Yes, that definitely is really true. Because people have to realize the shape of the body, the shape size of the body does not dictate healthy. It does not.
Right. That's right.
Because
Yep.
there are many people that society sees and calls skinny, but they are very unhealthy.
Right.
Their bodies are very unhealthy. Still yet, because imagine there's skinny diabetics out there. And I'm not talking about type 1, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about type 2 diabetics out there that are skinny and nobody would know unless I probably openly told them. They wouldn't know. So we can't ever, it goes back to that whole concept of don't judge a book by its cover because you really can't. You really truly can't. Here we have one hope for all. I used to like my steaks medium rare, but as more time went on eating more steak, I prefer my steak closer to rare, but not fully rare. And I think I'm making my way to completely rare. Yeah, just like Robin said, it's shocking, but it's almost like you truly just is like a craving now to have it
Mhm.
more rare because it's
Yep.
more flavorful. It's more satisfying to your palate. So as like strange as it might sound to get to the rare of rare,
Yeah.
I mean it tastes good. And like Rick is saying, never overcook a steak, it ruins it. Yes.
Right.
Yes. And
Agreed.
especially when you had to splurge a little bit on the steak because it was not on sale.
Oh my goodness.
That is making it even more painful to ruin it.
Yes.
So definitely
Yes.
tread lightly with cooking your
Mhm.
steaks. Susie and E's also saying medium rare to rare for me. I used to have a boyfriend who liked his steaks blue.
Mm.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Because I definitely see the blue is definitely a lot of people's go-to. Rick's adding here, I ate a lot of raw liver over the years. Yeah, it's very common. Even like in a lot of cultures,
Mhm.
it's very common for them to give like raw liver, especially to like the young children.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's very common. My husband, he never had it raw, in his youth, but in Jamaica, it was a huge thing to have
Mhm.
liver. Even to this day, I mean, he loves liver.
You
It's
too.
one of
Yep.
those things like it was never off-putting to
Mhm.
the kids growing up,
Yeah.
because it was just a different, mentality of living. It's a completely different culture where the
Right.
kids, for the most part, a lot of the kids that wasn't off-putting to them. So even to this day, he loves and craves and enjoys liver even to this
Me
day.
too. I have a craving for it. Every maybe once a month, I have a craving for it.
Yeah, and I very much think, like you said, that I really think it's kind of like like your body is really telling you like it needs those additional nutrients.
Yes.
I think very much so. Oh, Robin, it seems like you're going my way. Seems like you're going to be making your way to liking your steak rare.
Probably. I'm going more and more that direction.
Same, I prefer the yolk. Yeah, I see it. It's very common. I had shared on one of the lives that we had that I'm seeing even for some that are still keeping their coffee experience, they're doing not the whole egg anymore. They're just putting the yolk and frothing it, is what
Yes.
I've noticed. So I've seen a lot mention because a lot of them said that stomach wise, they had to just have the yolk and eliminate the whites. And then
Mhm.
some noticed that irritations like inflammation also
Yeah.
attributed to going with the yolk and eliminating the white.
Yes.
So definitely, for anybody, I mean, it's an easy enough experiment
Yes.
to just see, eliminate the white and see if you're noticing a difference. If you're trying to
Mhm.
incorporate egg, but it's bothering you, you're noticing like an irritation,
Yes.
try just having the yolk. You never know. Thankfully, it's something easy enough.
Right.
Susie's mentioning here, I like my steak, what they call the Pittsburgh char, which is charred on the outside and very rare on the inside.
Okay, so you have to
Oh,
get a really high heat going to get that
yeah.
outside and keep it very rare on the inside. Yeah.
Yes. I've never heard of that before, like Pittsburgh char,
Me either.
but I have seen the idea of the charring,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to like the hot dogs, because like up north, that was the big thing. Like it would be very charred and very like that bite into snappiness
Mhm.
with that char on the outside, and then inside would just be like juicy as if it was boiled.
Oh,
Is kind of what the texture would be. But that's interesting. I'm gonna actually have to look that up as
yeah,
far as when it comes to
good.
Pittsburgh char, because
See.
that definitely that sounds really interesting. Oh, Susie E, my allergies are better. Oh,
Nice.
we are so
Oh,
thankful for that because, like I said, just like Robin's explaining, I understood it from my husband, and to have that relief is amazing because
yes, it
it's
is.
definitely something that can be definitely difficult to deal with. Nilly, Indigo Nilly, has a great breading recipe, pork panko, egg white powder, and beef gelatin that does not come off the food. So good.
Mhm.
Yes, she is definitely one of those ones within the community, just like Anita, ketogenic woman that we mentioned. They are creative geniuses in the kitchen when
Yes,
it
they
comes to this way of eating. So definitely that is another channel to check out aside from the ketogenic woman, is Indigo Neely, because definitely their recipes are definitely compliant
incredible.
with
Yeah,
carnivore and the proper human diet in general, and you'll definitely get a lot of inspiration if you are looking for creativity with your recipes. And Susie E, we definitely agree the carnivore community is awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah, because it can keep a lot of people, going, because you know, think about a lot of people that are on this way of eating and they're the only ones in their household. Like I'm fortunate
That's
that
me.
even though I went carnivore, my
Yeah.
family was keto still. They
Mhm.
still continued on with keto. So I mean it wasn't really difficult for me because I wasn't craving, the stuff that they were continuing to eat.
Right.
But like you're saying, you're the only one and it can seem lonely at times
It can.
because you don't feel like you have anybody to really talk to about it at home.
Right.
You don't
Yes.
feel like they can kind of like relate. Um, they see the changes you're going through, absolutely,
Yes.
because they live with you and they
Yep.
see you day to day as far as family that comes and goes. Um, but like I said, nobody could truly understand other than somebody in this community. So definitely for anyone that's trying to get started, for anyone that's feeling like they're needing that little boost, that little extra support, definitely reach out to somebody. Like I said, my email is completely open door. If anybody just wants to email me and feel like they're just wanting somebody just to talk to, I'm definitely there. I'm
Yeah.
definitely there. And a lot of us do not come from any judgy point of view or perspective. Like I said, like that was the first thing that I mentioned about Robin is definitely, she is so down to earth. You don't come at anybody with the dogmatic um way that some can, some
Yeah.
can definitely intimidate newbies.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but that's their channel. That is their right of how they want to run their end of things.
Yes.
Um, but don't feel like that's all that's out there. There are some that are just gonna be down to earth, welcoming. They're not gonna beat you up for eating the cheaper cut of meats. Do what
Right.
you gotta do. Do what you gotta
Exactly.
do because you could definitely be doing so much worse than having to go towards those cheaper cut of meats. But yes, Susie, we absolutely agree with that. And Cindy's adding us keto folks are awesome too. No,
That's true.
absolutely.
Keto folks are awesome too. That's absolutely
Absolutely.
right.
Proper human diet, like Susie saying here, we're a proper human diet family. Absolutely. Proper human diet in its entirety. Everybody's just been amazing. I've
Yes.
been so fortunate to be part of the community for over 6 years. I mean, it's been truly inspiring and motivating to hear everybody's stories. Susie, my doctor does keto and intermittent fasting. He fully
Nice.
supports me, especially since I have lost weight and my numbers are so good. That
Mhm.
is amazing.
That
And
is
that
awesome.
is like a rare gem find. Not only to
Mhm.
find a doctor that fully supports, but one that's doing it themselves.
That's
So that's how you know how much on board the doctor is that they have incorporated themselves with their way of life, with their way of eating.
yes.
Wow, you are so blessed and fortunate to come across a doctor like that.
Mhm.
Definitely. I hope that doctor stays around for you as long as you are going to need them because that is truly a gem of a find.
That is.
One hope for, oh, yes, I got relief from chronic pain that I've had for decades.
Oh, her
Oh my
name is
goodness.
Sandra. I'll just say
Sandra.
Sandra. Yeah, her name is
Sandra, okay. I love putting the actual like name,
yes,
like with
me
the
too.
hands on name. Sandra, that is so amazing because even when you say decades, that is huge.
That's
When
yeah.
you actually look back at the timeline of it, decades, and to have relief finally,
Amazing.
there
Amazing.
can't be any better of a feeling than that. Oh my gosh. I don't want to keep Robin too long because we're definitely almost getting at the 2 hour mark here.
Wow.
Um,
Time going fast.
yes, it definitely is going fast here. I really like beef belly. It looks like beef bacon with lots of fat, so delicious. Yes, because I think that is where they do, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's where they cut the beef bacon from,
Mhm.
is from the belly.
Yes.
Oh, I won't make the live. It's Palm Sunday.
Yes, it is.
Definitely
Yes,
catch
it
the
is.
replay though, because that
Yeah.
replay is always available. And we're
Yes.
so fortunate to have that replay option because there is definitely with my balance of like my full-time work, full-time homeschooling schedule, there's definitely a lot that I have to go back and watch through replays, but
Mhm.
definitely know that that's available, Sandra. Also, if anyone is having issues with histamines, consider ordering from Billy Joe Meats. Yes, this is
Oh,
what
okay.
oh my goodness. Why am I just having like a I am literally having a brain fart. I can't even think of her name right now. But she has a discount when it comes to Billy Joe Meats.
Oh, okay.
Oh
I've
my
never
goodness,
heard of
why am I
it.
not thinking of her name right now? This is so crazy. It's one of those things when you're put like on the spot. Yes, no, absolutely, Sandra. That's amazing. Yes, there are also skinny people with visceral fat. Very true.
Yes.
Very, very true. Sandra sharing, I'm thin or slender. I wouldn't say skinny. Yeah, yeah. They're we definitely like Robin had mentioned about her own figure in the beginning, her before figure. We come in all shape and sizes.
Yes, we do.
We sure do. And that definitely is what the beauty of this is because, and that's why you can't really feel like anybody when it comes to their scale victories, when it comes to anybody's picture. before and after you're seeing their victories, do not compare yourself to nobody. Do not feel like anybody is your competition or like you are in a race with anybody. No,
Mhm.
because your body is different than theirs. You were beautifully made to be
Yes,
your own unique self.
exactly.
Stay in your own lane. Focus on what healing you have to do. Don't worry about anybody else. Just be happy for them. Have that be your takeaway. Be happy for them. But very much all of that is going to come for you as well. It's just your body is doing what it needs to do to get you to
Yep.
your own personal goals. Do not worry about anybody else.
Yes, indeed.
Sandra, and there are more nutrients that stay in the steak when you have it rare. Hmm. That's very true. That's very true. You get a lot of the benefits. When people are allergic to eggs, it's most likely that they're allergic to the egg whites. Yeah,
Right. They have
that's what
high
a lot.
histamine. They have high
Hmm.
histamine in them. So
Yeah. And some don't realize because some never really had eggs at the capacity that they end up having it at
right.
on carnivore. So that's
Exactly.
kind of when they have that epiphany like,
True.
oh, like, am I
Yes.
allergic to it? Or like,
Yeah.
what exactly is going on?
So true.
Susan E. here, I used to take so much allergy medicine. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure Robin can relate with that. But yeah, my husband as well. Between all like the medicine and the nasal pumps and everything. Oh my goodness. Our medicine
Yep.
cabinet was jam-packed of that stuff
Yep.
because he always had to have it on hand.
I have like 10 bottles of that stuff that I do not have to use anymore.
Oh my goodness. It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot we ended up tossing away. Susie sharing, I used to get seasonal colds when the weather changed in spring and autumn, but I haven't had a cold in like 5 years.
That's awesome.
That's the thing, that's something. And Robin, I know you mentioned with the allergies, but as far as like seasonal colds even, I've also noticed as well, like um I got like some mild ones, I want to say,
Mhm.
because we did have like some drastic like changes in temperature sometimes here in South Florida. So when it goes from extreme hot to like those extreme like dips for like one day,
Mhm.
you end up getting like a little bit of like a mild cold and stuff like that. But it literally, I would say, like, I literally focused on having, like, some bone broth to kind of,
Yeah.
like, soothe myself.
Mhm.
I was, like, better in no time. I wanna say probably, like, in, like, 2 days, I went through, like, recovery,
Yep.
and I was feeling amazing. Have you noticed anything as far as, like, aside from the allergies, like, just basic, like, cold?
Yep. So I noticed that my husband got COVID and I didn't get it.
Mm.
And then I did catch a slight cold. I was actually, my daughter's a physician's assistant. And I called
Okay.
my daughter and I was like, "Oh my gosh." I call her Boxy. That's her nickname. Boxy, I have these symptoms and stuff. And she's like, "Mom, you have rhinovirus. That's a cold." Like,
Oh,
"Oh, I forgot about
wow.
those after the big C, you know."
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so
yeah.
it was so mild. So yeah, the I've gotten a couple of colds, but they were very, very mild and went away super fast. So, and since I was surprised that I didn't catch COVID when my husband had it because we sleep right next to each other. So I never caught it.
Right. So it's kind of like you were exposed, but then again, like you just didn't contract. So wow.
Hmm. Yep.
Susie E, yes. Keto folks are awesome. PhD. Yep.
Right.
That's exactly what we consider this. Everybody's on the proper human diet.
Yes.
When it comes to keto, ketovore, carnivore, you're just doing and finding what works best for you, your
Yeah.
goals, your body. But they're none of those are the wrong way.
Right. Oh,
Oh,
that's
I can't wait
so
to have my appointment with
awesome
Dr.
exposing
Tony
Dr.
Hampton on
That's
April.
awesome.
Oh my gosh,
I
we
love
were
Dr. Tony.
fortunate. Yes, we were so fortunate. I had reached out to him, and thankfully he was able to make time to come on one of our Friday night lives. But he is another professional in this community that we are so grateful and blessed to have him in this community because just like all the others, we called out. He's so down to earth.
Yes, he
So
is.
down to earth and
So true.
very
Yes.
much like the others, Dr. Chafee, Dr. Berry. Dr. Sean Baker, Dr. Kiltz, they
Mhm.
talk to you in simple terms. Like there's no
Yes.
medical jargon or any of that. You just very much feel comfortable. So
Mhm.
I am so super excited for you, and you'll definitely have to report
Will
to us how that goes because
will
we
do,
know
yeah.
it's gonna go amazing.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to meet him and have a chance to talk with them. It's just so incredible to meet these amazing doctors, and they're so
Hmm.
generous with their time.
Yeah,
It's like, you know,
that's the thing. Yeah,
it's gonna be the 5th doctor that I've interviewed, and not one of them has charged me a dime to do these interviews. They're out here giving their
exactly.
time away for free,
Right.
to have these conversations is just absolutely
Hmm.
incredible.
And that's what I tell people. Because somebody, because like we mentioned, there's always that one person that has something unkind to say. But even when we have to think about it. We have to think about it with the experience and the knowledge that they're coming with. And even if they have these lives that have the opportunity to do, super chats and financially support them in any big or small way, some
Mhm.
people might frown upon that, but we have to understand. Look for how long it was easy for us to give doctors that were keeping us sick, that were being our drug dealers, and not really trying to find out the root of the problem to heal us. We were willingly giving 20, 25, 30, and so on, sometimes up to like $50 for a
Mhm.
copay.
Right. Yep.
So, like, think about it. Like, really think about it. Like, they are, like Robin says, really truly giving their time. And they have family as well that they're taking
Mhm.
that time away from. But they are so passionate at helping people. And then when they go to different events that happen and they're meeting people firsthand, imagine how inspiring that is for them. That
Yes.
here they have this agenda to set the truth free
Right.
and to get those testimonies in person of how they changed somebody's life. How can they not keep going?
Right. Yeah.
They very much, they felt a calling because Nurse Nisha, when it came to Dr. Barry, Nurse Nisha, she was very much the one that said that he needs to go on social media.
Yes.
So she was the driving force in that, if nobody knew. But still yet to keep at it at the capacity that they do, like we said, it takes a lot of work to put
It
content out
does.
there.
It does.
And to keep it at the capacity that they do, so selfless. So selfless. No matter whatever little bit of monetary, they get. Oh my goodness. It is well
Worth it.
deserved.
Yep. It's worth
Well
it.
deserved.
Yep. So
Absolutely.
somebody's asking where I'm from.
Hmm.
I am from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Yes, there
Very
really is a
cool.
Kalamazoo.
Very, very cool.
Yes.
I can't get my doctor due to carnivore, though. Offered to lend him Dr. Barry's book. What did he say? Was he willing to check it out? Because that would be really cool, because sometimes that's literally what they need. They need the literature.
Yeah, right,
And it also is tricky because here we're giving them a book. Are they going to make the time to read it?
right. That's the thing.
That's
Yep.
the main thing, too. Because a lot of their schedules are not very flexible to allow the time to like literally like sit there and read, because once they're at the office, it's kind of getting into like the mode of either being the spouse to somebody at home,
Mhm.
or having their own personal things to get done, or some of them have young children, so it could be difficult also. But here, Robin, do you have any challenges, fasting or food experiments you're planning this year?
Well, I am currently in a 7-day wall Pilates challenge with the Fierce Felines. My Monday night show with the Meeting Mondays with the Fierce Felines. So last Monday we started a wall Pilates challenge. So I still have to do my Pilates this evening when I get done here. So um, I don't really have anything planned necessarily. I take challenges as they come. So, but no, I'm not really doing anything like that. I'm trying to develop some new recipes for my channel. So that's one of
Okay.
the things that I'm working on is trying to develop some new recipes, which I see people asking for certain things that I don't see
Mm.
out here. And I'm like, okay, let me see if I can make up something. Cause I do like to experiment in the kitchen. I like to cook and I usually take a recipe and then I tweak it. But this time I'm going to be doing some of my own recipes. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's exciting. That's definitely exciting. I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Yes.
So Robin, were you at the meetup with Carrie from Homestead How and Dr. Hamden?
So not the most recent one. I went to the very first one in Chicago, which was absolutely incredible. But no, this last one at the Montello Theater was during my work day, so I wasn't able to make it. But there's another one coming up here in April in Wisconsin with JT and Carrie, and it's going to be at a big park. And so I'm thinking about going to that one.
Okay, so you might have a twin out there because if so, I sat next to you at dinner.
Oh, in Chicago?
So who knows if it was at the first one? Definitely let us know if it's the first one Robin's referring to. If not, she possibly has a twin.
Oh my gosh. What's your name? Tell me your name, and then I'll tell you if it was you that it was probably
That'll
me.
be really cool. That would be really cool if
Yeah.
you, and that's the thing, we don't realize how small this
Oh my
world and sometimes
gosh.
this community could be because sometimes we can come in paths with one another and not even know it.
Oh my gosh. Did you come with Brett? Because if you rode with Brett, then yes, you sat next to me at dinner. That's awesome.
There's not an update as of yet. I was trying to see if there was an
Okay.
update as of
Oh,
yet.
that's
Nothing as of
hilarious.
yet, but that's really cool.
Yes, that's
My
very,
baby
very
could be
cool.
allergic to egg whites.
Stephanie. Yes, it was.
It was. Oh my gosh.
That's so crazy. I would not have known that was you.
Oh my
Hi,
goodness.
Stephanie. Oh my gosh, it's good to see you again.
That is very cool. Wow, that you both sat next to each other. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yes. Awesome, awesome.
Oh, here we have Jay in the house.
I
Welcome, Jay.
know.
Robin, you're on at the same time as Christy. I'm torn. Christy was actually in the chat earlier, and because
Yes,
we've been going for like a little over 2 hours now, which is definitely easy to do when you are in good company. But yes, we actually had her in the chat, and she did head out because of that live that she's on right now.
right.
Love Dr. Hampton. He's a blessing. Yes,
I'm
he is
sure.
such an absolute sweetheart. Sandra saying, I love the acronyms. Ketovores and carnivores have PhD in nutrition, and
Yeah,
everyone else is sat on the other diet.
right. That's perfect.
Yeah, that is so well put,
That's
Sandra.
perfect.
Susie saying, that's awesome. Robin Pilates is great exercise. Looking forward to your new
Yes.
recipe. And Susie, oh my goodness, she is killing it with her physical activity. So she
Nice.
is also, oh my goodness, she is such an inspiration with also her physical activity as well. Jamie sharing, my grandma lived in is this water?
Michigan.
Okay. How do you
Water
pronounce it?
Water Valete.
Water Valise. I'm
Yes.
glad you knew how to pronounce that because I definitely was about to butcher it. You too. I hope you got to the meetup in April.
Yes, I'm planning to. I'm planning to.
Hopefully, because I saw when they were in Chicago, I saw all like their photos and everything
Mhm.
of I believe Adam was there, Carrie, um Alia was there. So it was nice to see all of them come together. That was really cool because a lot of them had, a great commute, but
Yes.
still they were able to join together. So that was really cool.
Her
Ask
name is
Robin how to pronounce my name.
Sandra. Sandra.
Sandra.
Yes.
Okay. I'll have to remember that. I'll definitely
Sometimes
have
I
to
get it wrong
remember that.
still too, but yes, it's Sandra. or I'll spell it Sandra. So I know it's Sandra, and I spell it Sandra. It's Sandra by spelling, but Sandra by pronunciation. So
Pronunciation.
yes,
And I think that's like the tricky part. You always remember the name, but the pronunciation is sometimes the tricky one at times.
that's
And then
right.
after so many times, you catch yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I'm sorry.
Right. Yes, yes, yes.
But we actually are at a catch up point. So Robyn, she has that steak that I'm sure it has definitely thought out a lot by now. So thank you so much, Robyn, for coming
Yes.
on and committing some time on this Friday. Absolutely, wholeheartedly appreciate you. This was so enjoyable, and it was definitely so easy to go for over 2 hours, especially.
Wow.
So thank you so much for giving that amount of time to this. We definitely had so many that were just having a great time in the chat, and I definitely wanted to be able to highlight everybody
Yes.
and make sure that everybody got highlighted with their comments. But to be able to wrap this up the right way, I definitely want to give you the opportunity to kind of give everybody a send off and a closing, whatever you want to share,
Okay.
um, whether it's something of inspiration you want to share, or just kind of leave everyone off with some closing words.
Well, you guys, I really appreciate everybody taking 2 hours out of your time to spend with us tonight. And I definitely appreciate you, Sana, for inviting me to come on. I am so grateful for every opportunity that I have to come on and share my story. So thank you so much for that. And then I just want to encourage everybody to stay the course. Carnivore is amazing. If you haven't started yet, maybe you want to give it a 30-day try. Like I said, I found that after 2 weeks, I knew that I would not be able to go back to my old way of eating because I felt so much better. So just want to encourage everybody, and God is amazing. I'll say that with my Dr. Barry finger. God is amazing. You guys can come and check me out at Carnivorous Grandma. Grama. Don't put the grand in there because all my grandkids call me grandma. And so I am your carnivorous grandma as well. And thank you again, Sana. Thank you, Cindy. I hope you feel better. And that's all I got to say. That's all I have.
Yes, we'll definitely have to do this again, especially when Cindy's able to be on with us. We'll definitely have to do a future uh, update is what we'll
Absolutely.
consider it. But I
Yes.
have been putting for anyone that has not been blessed with being subscribed to Robyn's channel already. I've been putting her link in the chat as the live has been going. So definitely that's going to be available. It should be clickable. So definitely go ahead and show her some love in the form of a sub. I would greatly appreciate it, and I know she would as well. But thank you so much again, Robyn, for giving so much of your time on this Friday. And as Robyn said, thank you everybody in the chat as well, because for any amount of time that you spent with us, this is a Friday night. You could
Yes.
definitely have done anything with your time, no matter how little bit or how much of time that you committed to us. It is always wholeheartedly appreciated. So, with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for being here. As always, you all are always appreciated. And everyone, have a great and enjoyable weekend. And for those that celebrate for the Palm Sunday, definitely enjoy that as well.
Yes.
Until the next one, take care, everybody.
Bye.